It all started with a vision board. This vision board, to be exact. And now, just 3 years later, my life looks completely different. I live in a different city. I left my engineering job. I make YouTube videos now, and I learned how to heal my gut. I have a few vision board videos on my channel, but I haven't really broken down the secret behind what made my OG vision board so successful. And I want to break it down because I feel like it went so much deeper than just visualization. Okay, are you ready? The secret to why this vision board changed my life so dramatically is because it triggered events that specifically challenged the way that I think and the way that I approach life. And the key to unlocking this secret was that I was able to recognize them when they showed up. And that's why I talk about the ego and the shadow so much, because it really has been the key to creating the change that I want to see in my life. And honestly, I never thought it would be a vision board that got me to realize this. Like, if you would have asked me in my early 20s if I would have even thought about making a vision board, the answer would have been no. I wouldn't have even wasted my time. So this was my very first vision board. And let me just tell you the story of how I decided to make it. So it was 2020, mid-pandemic. We had just gotten locked down, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to, get in shape, get my life together, just be all around refreshed when it came time to going back to the office. As we all know, 2020 was a difficult and transformative year. I was working as an engineer when the pandemic hit, and they let us work from home. I don't know if you remember, but they thought that COVID was only going to be 2 weeks until it cleared all up and we would be going back to our normal lives. It took me those 2 weeks to decide that I was not going back. I had gotten a taste of freedom, and it was over with.
I'm not fucking leaving!
I knew then that that was the lifestyle that I needed. I knew there had to be another way to make money without having to go sit in somebody's office. And I just knew that there was more to life than having a company dictate my time, where I could live, and how much money I could inevitably make. And so I did what every 20-something who's unsatisfied with their job would do. I consumed content. I watched so much content on side hustles, entrepreneurship, and personal development just to find something that would spark an interest in me. But in my doom scroll one day, I saw Sharee make a post about her vision board success, and something in me that day just ignited.
December 2013, around this time, I made a vision board with some of my company members at the time, and I never made a vision board before, but I was like, fuck it, let me do it. And looking at it, I framed it and put it in my office because so much shit has happened. I made a work section, a personal section, and a miscellaneous section. Knew I wanted to do something with HBO. Did that, baby. Did that. TV writer. 2020 feels bleak, but having a vision board is so essential and really fulfilling. You're subconsciously fulfilling and potentially achieving these goals that you set for yourself every day.
At this point, it was December, Capricorn season. And for all my astrology girlies, the sun was in my 3rd house. And I'm throwing that in there so you can tell what kind of energy I was in. And I'd gone to Kroger to buy some groceries. And as I was leaving, there was a man out there panhandling. And I remember noticing it because normally it was the same guy. I went to this Kroger regularly, and it's usually the same guy out there. But this time it was someone different, and something inside of me just felt like they really needed help. So I went and put the groceries in my trunk and walked back inside. And immediately my brain's like, okay, go get that poster board you wanted for your vision board. And so I buy a poster board, I buy a couple extra supplies, and I pay for it and take some money out and walk back outside. And I leave out the same door that I left out before, and that man is long gone. I was kind of spooked. I was kind of spooked because it was such a big parking lot, and I had looked around and it was just man, did he run away? I don't understand how he was nowhere in the vicinity. I just was looking around feeling real crazy. So I went home and I had like the poster board sitting in my apartment for like a week. And at the time I was reselling on Amazon. So I was selling books like during the pandemic. That was the side hustle I got into. And I went to Source Books one day, and there was this huge collection of magazines out front of one of the stores on sale. So I bought them and I was like, okay, well, this is a sign I need to make this vision board like right now. So that night I went home to print out some of the things I specifically like wanted to see. And I recommend doing this. I also recommend the magazine route, because the magazines I did use, because it felt like they were so specifically like placed in my path, they had really specific things that felt like they aligned with me. So when I sat down to make it, I was like, okay, let me make this vision board cover a span of about 5 years, because I'm not making another one of these. I was wrong about that. But let me tell you, so many things from this vision board manifested within the next year and a half. My head was spinning. I healed my gut. I got to work from home permanently. I moved to Chicago. I revamped my morning routine. I even made a journal out of it. I pursued my Amazon seller. I started YouTube. It was crazy just to see like even the smallest things placed on that vision board materialize in real life. But I also evolved so much as a person in such a short amount of time that I felt like I had to make another one. And that's why in my blog post I say you kind of want to shorten the amount of time that your vision board covers, because as you manifest things and move through it and learn, you'll either want new things, different things, and discover that other things you thought you wanted weren't things you wanted, but you'll also learn so much more about yourself in the process. And like for me, those processes usually include like shadow work, creating better routines, habits, and just gaining more knowledge as a whole. I'm just telling you that story to show you that like even before I created this vision board, I was kind of looking for the signs and acting on them. Like the signs that were like, hey, hurry up, go make this vision board. And I actually took action, because sometimes I can get caught up in like seeing the sign, knowing I should do it, and sitting on it, like waiting on it, and it doesn't get me anywhere. So if you take that secret specifically and create your next vision board with that in mind, that I'm putting these things on my vision board, and afterwards waiting for the moment to show up that's going to challenge my current way of thinking, your manifestations will come in so quick. I am telling you, like that is the key. Like that vision board solidified my belief in feeling that I am a strong manifester. And it really inspired me to take action in creating my life in every area of my life rather than just living it passively. And so what I want to do is kind of like break down the lessons I learned along the way with each manifestation that appeared in my life, because I feel like hopefully you'll resonate with it and it will remind me a little bit of why I started, because right now I'm in my Saturn return and I'm hitting a bit of a wall. Because while this vision board did manifest a lot of material changes in my life, it also triggered a lot of internal challenges as well. Like a lot of challenges where I had to look back and realize that I was building on top of a foundation that wasn't steady because it wasn't authentically who I was. For example, like I chose a job, a career path for the money, and I knew that when I was in school. And I was like totally fine with that at the time, because like I like money, and I was like, this job will get me the money and then I can go do what I want to do. And I was good at it. I was generally good at math and science, so I pursued it. But one thing I didn't notice at the time was that I always had so much resistance to the thought of my future career goals and what I wanted to create from that. Like, did I want to be in upper management? Not really. I didn't really like those people. And things like that had me wrapped up in what I thought I wanted versus what I actually want. Like, authentically, I want community. I want to be surrounded by people with similar interests and hobbies and people that have good conversation. And driving that is also me wanting to be seen for who I am and wanting to creatively express myself, which I'm also kind of scared of, not gonna lie. But those kind of realizations have changed how I approach my vision boards and how I manifest and how those manifestations actually show up. So if you want to stick around while I break down and analyze my vision boards and my manifestations and the lessons that came with it, feel free to subscribe or leave a comment below about what currently is changing your life, vision board or not. And I'm going to get started on those next couple of videos. In the meantime, if you haven't made a vision board yet, I have got the perfect video for you, a step-by-step guide on how to create a vision board that works. So you can check that out if you want to get started. As always, I'm sending love and healing your way. Bye.